For Module 3, Evaluation Practices and Review of Termination Policies and Tenure Laws. Evaluation should be based on what one values. While districts will have the evaluation procedures and documents for teachers, for administrators, and for classified staff, you as the building principal have the charge to implement the process in a way that values the person in your building. Evaluation should be free from personal bias, from any kind of harassment, and must document performance. Evaluation certainly can and should provide support for continued growth of the individual. As much as one hates to think of it in this way, evaluations document acceptable performance and to lay the legal groundwork for termination of employment. Be absolutely sure you are knowledgeable with the district's policies regarding renewal of contracts and termination of employment. Also, be very sure regarding the process you are using in your district. Because the tenure laws vary from state to state, I'm asking you to find the tenure policy for your district. Tenure is a commitment of the district to the teacher regarding continued employment. Tenure is also a commitment of the teacher to the district that the job performance is acceptable. Generally, probationary employees are viewed as learning employees. Positions also are viewed as providing less appeal processes. For instance, in the state of Missouri, teachers can earn tenure upon the offer of and the start of the 6th year of employment in a district. During the first 5 years, teachers can be terminated for any legal reason with the right to an appeal to the Board of Education. However, once a teacher is tenured, the process is more complicated for the termination of employment. Best practices for documentation of concern in both situations: documented opportunity for improvement and documented support via a professional improvement plan. In the case of a tenured teacher, the appeal process is there for the teacher to request a hearing before the board. While that in and itself is not a problem, the documentation needed is much more intensive, and the violation of board policy must be specifically documented. Keeping in mind that the classroom teacher makes such a difference for the child in his or her classroom, I have told building principals, and have done this myself, to know after year 2 if a teacher is not a teacher for whom we would want teaching our children, and to document and plan for the non-renewal of a contract at least by year 3. Classified personnel are generally considered at-will employees, meaning that their employment is not guaranteed from year to year. Generally, they are not offered a contract, but a letter of employment. Such letters allow the district to break employment for a variety of legal reasons. However, best practice is to give the employee an opportunity to improve and to document those opportunities. In this module, you will review and use the evaluation documents supported by the Missouri Department of Education. The observation reference form that is posted explains what one is documenting in the evaluation. The evaluation form itself provides the opportunity to check boxes regarding certain criteria. It also is important to make notes on the form itself. The feedback also is important for the valuing and the growth of the teacher. For this module, provide the notes on the form for each teacher featured on the videos. Because we know from research that teachers value feedback that is timely and specific, provide specific content-based feedback. Research tells us that the timeliness of these things needs to be immediate. Perhaps ask the teacher to step into the hallway for a few words, make time after school, or possibly before school as well. The longer the time period between the observation and the feedback, the less likely there will be a true conversation about improvement, and that change will happen. Notice that the evaluation document is signed by both the evaluator and by the teacher. This happens during a conference to review the information. Do not simply put a copy in the teacher's mailbox to be reviewed, signed, and given back to you. Evaluation is to support what you value. Be sure you value your teachers and other staff members enough to support them in improvement. Give your time, your energy to sit side by side with them and discuss performance. Do keep the timelines needed, in your district because your teachers deserve it. Teachers are too important to a student's learning not to be sure an effective teacher is in every classroom.